Perfect squares, you're supposed to simplify these radicals. I do not want a decimal. I want you to take a perfect square times some number, and we're going to break it down further. So what times what is 24? One of those needs to be a perfect square. 4 times 4 is not 24. 4 times 6 is 24. What's the square root of 4? So my answer is 2 square roots of 6. Now you kind of understand how we're going. Someone else help me with number two, the next one. Yes, dear.
10 square root of 5.
It is, because it's 100 perfect. You can have a point. 100 times 5. And square root of 100 is 10, so our answer is 10 square root of 5. Perfect, Jim. Okay, on the next one. Yes, Jim?
4 square root of 2.
Yes. So 32 is 16 times 2. The square root of 16 is 4, so it's 4 square root of 2. Now, Jim can have another point. No, Jim said he did these yesterday, but I'm going to tell you a little secret. I don't know if Jim knew it or not. Your calculator can do these. Most calculators, some of them can, not all. But you seriously type in square root of 32 and your calculator reduces it for you. However, ACT people know that. They're aware of what your calculator can and cannot do. They have one of their own. So what they would probably say instead of saying, hey, square root of 32 is what? They might say, what perfect square did you use to reduce it to this? And then you would have to not be a zombie and say, oh, I did 16. Just saying. Okay. And there was another option on that problem as well. I would love to hear the other option on square root of 32. What? I didn't think of 16 immediately. I did not think 16 times 2. What did you think?
4. Well, you use 4, so the 2 is 8.
Okay, so, you can think 4 and 8 is 32. So you end up getting 2 root 8. But if you do Royale's way rather than Jim's, not Royale, you're Grant, good Lord. If I try to do Grant's way rather than Jim's way, actually I'm going to end up creating a lot more work for myself. Jim's way was easier, only 2 steps. Grant's way is going to require a little more work because we got to simplify. 8 is really 4 times 2. I know what square root of 4 is. It's 2. So I get 4 square roots of 2 at the end. What took me 2 steps is now taking me 5 steps. Now, if you follow those steps, it's not going to be a problem. But if you don't know what's going on, my suggestion is find the biggest perfect square possible. Biggest one possible. Okay, we will save number 10 for a second because it's a doozy. Let's go ahead and get number 11 out of the way. Yes, dear. It is 9 times 5, and the square root of 9 is 3, so it is 3 square roots of 5. Your group can have a point. And then, yes, dear.
5 square root of 3.
Yes, so it's 25 times 3 is 75, so we get 5 square roots of 3. That's perfect. Perfect. And your group can have a point for that. God bless Jim for getting these done yesterday.
Got 10.
And you have number 10. Go for it.
8 square root of 3.
So, 4, I'm so glad Jim did these yesterday. That makes our life so much easier. 192 is a hard one. This is seriously what I had to do on my calculator. This is me not sure of my perfect square. So I said, well, I know I need it to be a perfect square. So I said 192 divided by 100. Well, I'm not that silly, but I did do it. Maybe. Nope, got a decimal. 192 divided by 81. Nope, got a decimal. 192 divided by 64, because that's perfect square. Oh, it all works out. But you could have tried a bunch of different ones. 192 divided by 36. Nope, no. So, yes, it is 64. It's 64 times 3. But I would have had to do this kind of like me figuring it out with my calculator first. So, it is 64 times 3. 64 times 3, which is 8 square roots of 3. That is the correct answer. Are there any questions about this math workshop? Okay. Was there a group that did not finish the activity yesterday? I thought everyone in here finished, but I've been wrong about Forrest before, especially when he's snapping when I'm talking. And he done lost one of Jim's points. Bless his heart. Yes. Okay, get out your book, turn to the page after the page did yesterday. Caitlin, I borrowed your book yesterday. Can I borrow it again today? Bless you. Okay. We're done with 1.1. We're on 1.2. So yesterday, our learning target was the exact same. I suggest solving this with a tree diagram or some sort of list. If Misha doesn't make some sort of list for this one, I have no idea on God's green earth what Misha is doing. Yesterday, if I walked up to Misha's paper and saw 19 minutes, I kind of already know what she did because I've done this before. But if she doesn't explain to me or draw me a list, I do not know how she would work this one. Okay, so it says that there's a man, youth, and a small boy. Notice those letters are capital. So we're going to do M for man, Y for youth, B for boy, and later on it says P for pack. Okay, so man, youth, and a boy are on an expedition through the peaks of the Rocky Mountains with an indestructible emergency pack. What word was important there? Indestructible. I need you and your group to keep that in mind. The pack, you cannot kill it. It's indestructible. Suddenly, of course, something happened. An earthquake causes a landslide that traps the intrepid climbers on a cliff. Their only way of escape is to use a conveniently placed fixed pulley system over which runs a rope with a basket at each end, left over from the mining days on the peaks. So there's a pulley system, and when one basket is at the bottom, the other is at the top. And the rope is positioned so that the person in the basket can neither help themselves up or down, nor receive help from others. So in short, the only way the baskets can be used is by placing a heavier weight in one than in the other, and then the heavier weight will move to the ground. What does this remind you of? Something that looks like this. Yeah, scales are like a balancing thing, yes. And then it reminds me of like a seesaw. So let's face it, I'm chunkier than Forrest. I am. I know it, and he knows it. It's true. So if me and Forrest are going to get on the seesaw, who's going to go to the ground, me or Forrest? Me, because I'm chunkier. So that's what the goal we're going to use today is the chunkier thing is going to go to the ground. But we don't want things to die, so of course there's some more rules. Today, instead of knowing their times, we need to know their weights. Man weighs 195, youth 105, boy 90, and the pack is 75 pounds. Okay, why do we need to know their weights? What are we worried about? Yeah, we don't want to send them down too fast where they might crash and then they die. Because if you send me and nothing in the other side to balance me out, I die when I hit the ground. Seriously, I die. And that can't be okay today. So it says the weight in the descending pack must not exceed that in the ascending pack by more than 15 pounds without causing a descent so rapid to cause injury to a human being who happened to be in the descending basket. Nobody is allowed to get hurt in this family-friendly adventure. Okay, so the important part of that sentence, how much weight can it be between the two baskets? 15. No more than 15 pounds. Okay, and then it says we safely have to have a descent so that no human being is hurt. Do we have 4 human beings today? We have 3 human beings and so no one gives a rip about the pack. So if you throw the pack down at the beginning or if you throw the pack down at the end, no one cares about the pack. It's okay with the pack, but you can't just throw the boy down without there being only a 15-pound difference in the other basket. Okay, so we also have a size restriction. Of course, there's more rules. The baskets are so small, only 2 people or 1 person in the pack could be placed in the same basket at one time. And of course, it wants you to figure out how to get everyone down without injuring anyone, and that's going to take so our goal is number 4, but let's face it, some of us are going to get stuck on number 1. Because we're going to take all class period to figure out how to send them all down without killing somebody. So I'm going to show you a picture of how I might draw it out. But first, before I do that, let's look at those weights. Whose weight really concerns us? Out of the 4 weights. Man, why is his weight so concerning? He's the heaviest. And if you add youth and pack, are you heavier than the man? No. If you add youth and boy, are you heavier than the man? If you add boy and pack, are you heavier than the man? No. There's no way to be heavier than the man unless we were allowed to add youth, boy, and pack, but it said only 2 in the basket, only 2 things in the basket. So there's an issue with that. So when you send the man down, he's down for good, but there's only a 15-pound difference, so you better make sure you put what against the man. Should you do the youth and the pack or the youth and the boy? You would say youth and boy, but that's wrong. Why is that wrong? How much does the man weigh? How much does the youth and the pack weigh? So if they both weigh 195, does anyone actually go down? No. So you're going to have to use the 180 one because that will actually send the man down. Okay, so how I would draw this out for what I just said, I would probably have me a picture. You know me, I like pictures. Mine's probably ugly. So here's my hill. At first there was man, youth, boy, pack. They're all at the top. And then here's my hill again. I'm going to leave, here's my baskets. The man's going to come down to the bottom because I'm going to put the youth and the pack against him, and I'm going to leave that boy at the top. Now, I get my pictures are silly, and maybe yours will be better. But you got to somehow, Forrest needs to write it out or discuss it with his group, or maybe just use English well enough on his paper that I understand who is at the top of the hill, who you sit down, and you realize in my next picture, the boy's still at the top, the man's at the bottom, the youth and the pack are at the top. Now I've got to decide who to send down and why. So, I don't know. You didn't listen to my suggestions yesterday. Maybe you won't today. Just keep in mind the pack is indestructible. And I was, bless Caitlin, sorry, I didn't steal her whole book. Okay. Like I said, we leave early. I forgot what time I said, but basically, as long as you're being productive, eventually I'm going to cut you off and let you watch the video. Bless you. Don't do it.